Ultimately, in this war, we must be able to see the real flow of money toward the future that is quietly moving behind missiles. It may look like we are watching a war in the Middle East, but in fact, this is only part of the picture. Why did the US choose to completely collapse the Iranian leadership right now? This was not simply for the defense of Israel, nor was it to eliminate a dictator. It is the largest logistics forced removal operation of the 21st century, which removed Iran, which was blocking the way, in order to combine the Indo-Europe FTA that tore down duty-free barriers with the IMEC railway network crossing the Middle East. Then, if we take a closer look at what the Indo-Europe FTA and the railway network crossing the Middle East IMEC software are, it will be easier to understand. On January 27, 2026, India and the European Union agreed on a free trade agreement. This was not mediated by the United States. Rather, the European Union and India approached each other because they could no longer trust the United States. In protest against the US high tariff policy and NATO's policy of increasing defense spending, Europe and India have finally reached an agreement on this long-stalled negotiation after about 20 years. The United States found itself in a position where it had to contain India and the European Union while keeping China in check. That is why it came up with IMEC. IMEC is the Indo-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor. This had already been planned since the Biden administration. However, it had simply not been implemented. Trump, seeing that India and Europe had joined hands, realized he could no longer delay it and put it into action immediately. However, the biggest obstacle to this project was Iran, which stands firm in the Strait of Hormuz. For Israel, which serves as a bridgehead from the Mediterranean to Europe, and for the United States, Iran was bound to become a target for elimination. Although Saudi Arabia does not recognize Israel as a state and they do not have diplomatic relations, they nevertheless joined hands when it comes to making money. It is the United States' chilling big picture to wither away China's Belt and Road Initiative and completely restructure the global supply chain. And Iran has become the scapegoat as a result. Executing the Iranian dictator? No, no, no. It is merely to eliminate Iran, which stands in the way of the US and Israel's profiteering. Therefore, the way for Iran to survive is to sever ties with China and side with the United States. Of course, the choice is up to Iran.